So, welcome everyone to our seventh, I can't believe it, 7 months already, um, for our Women in Backgammon Learning Series. Women in Backgammon, we're a nonprofit organization, and our dedication is to try to promote women's participation, place, and preeminence in competitive backgammon. And the last 2 months, there's just been a huge growth spurt. I mean, more women signing up for tournaments, women talking to each other, supporting each other through the tournaments. We're so excited to see that and so excited to bring more content around that. And these monthly events are part of it. But I have to take a moment to give a shout out to my partner in crime here, Karen Davis, who in 1 month ran the mixed doubles tournament. She ran the DC tournament. She's working on the U.S. International Federation. I've got the name wrong. The Ladies World Championship in Monte Carlo. She's constantly sending our team at Blue Shoe Strategy stuff to do to get stuff up on the website, et cetera, and it's really paid off. So I just want to say, I don't think I've never met anybody as committed to the growth of this, and I just want to give a shout out to you right now, Karen. Thank you for your work, truly.
Well, thank you, Christine.
You're welcome. Go to our website, womeninbackgammon.com. You can sign up to get notices. There's so much going out. We're sending out constant flows of information where you can participate or watch or learn. It's really great. But tonight, we're going to be, we have a great program. It's an honor to feature Jonah Seewald and Kara Schultz, who are also winning doubles teams. So, but tonight they're not. Tonight they're competing. So Kara Schultz skyrocketed to the top levels of backgammon since she won the California State Novice Division in 2018, the Novice Division. Okay, since then, she's won the first U.S. National Championship in 2020, which means there's hope for us all, everybody. Hope for us all. In 1920, and a spot on the Women's USA team. So the team won the Ganud Cup against the UK women's team. She won the 2022 New York Metro Lady Liberty Cup, garnering the Women in Backgammon's cash prize and a backgammon travel board, as well as capturing the New York Metro limited jackpot. So she and her coach, Jonah Seewald, won the doubles event at the 2021 Wild West Shootout. She's done well at ABT Online events as well, winning the 2020 LA Open online. So in just a few years, congratulations to you. And we know the work it takes to get where you're getting. And again, we hold you up as somebody, we all have hope that we can rise to that level. So welcome, and Jonah is an outstanding teacher and consummate student of the game and player. He has a long string of major backgammon event wins, including the 2021 Jeffrey Parker 5,000 Super Jackpot in Vegas, the 2020 Texas Malcolm Davis Longhorn Masters Jackpot, to add to a host of other things. So tonight we should have a great match, and we don't want either one of you to be nice to the other side. You got to get in there and get it going. So we're going to go ahead and get started when you guys are ready.
So we're gonna basically talk about every play. So what we're thinking, and then we'll go over the match afterwards.
Cool. Okay, so 6-2. This is the opening 6-2 move at 0-0. So pretty straightforward.
All right. A lot of times, if your opponent's split, you should be splitting. And like with 5-2, it really likes disconnecting your opponent when they have this triangle formation formed. So I'm actually going to hit and split here just to disrupt the building that's happening here, and also disconnect the checker from the bar point.
And I have two choices now. I can make the bar or the 11 point. This is a tough one. I think the bar is a little bit better here. I'm not 100% sure. This looks so nice. I don't know.
My opponent has an anchor. It's good that I have an anchor also, especially since the race is pretty close. If the race wasn't close, then I wouldn't make this anchor if I was really far behind. So I'm just going to make the 20 and slot my 5.
All right, and I'm just gonna, well, I have 2 things. I can make oh, sorry about that, guys. Can make that, and since he has some blots, I can consider coming here. Not sure. Can I make a new point? I can make that point. Yeah. Or I can slot the 3. Okay, so I have 2 choices. I kind of like this. So I'm ahead in the race. Keeps it simple.
Ahead in the race.
No longer.
No longer ahead in the race.
All right, so now I just want to make my board. So I'm just going to slot the points I want to make.
And I'll just try to bring my checkers in and get my midpoint to a nice either 2 or 4 checkers and get it far enough in the race where I can double. And I'm just not there yet to have enough for that.
I'm making my 5 point.
Keep unloading this point.
And again, I like to make my points. So I'm gonna make the 3 point, and I can either play 6 to 5 for diversification or 8 to 7. Not sure it matters. I'll play 8 to 7. I think either would be okay.
Now I can make my 4 point, or I can get my midpoint down to 2 checkers. Since I'm ahead in the race, I'm not really trying to have contact here. I'd rather get this ready to clear. So I'm just going to restack my 8, and then hopefully I can fill in my board, preparing for their bear off as soon as possible.
And when I have my opponent's bar point, the midpoint loses value, and I don't like to dump checkers or waste with the 5, so I'm just going to break my mid.
Don't really need to make my 1 point here, I don't think. I just want to prepare to clear at this point also. So bring another checker in.
And I want the 4 point next, and I'll play 6 to 5 for flexibility.
Can clear a point, put a checker where I want it next in the 4.
I'll make my 4, and then I think I'll just bring it in. We're still racing.
And I'm just preparing for the bear off here still, try to save some numbers on the high points so that maybe she gets squeezed first.
And I'm gonna slot my 2.
I can keep a spare. I can make, looks like I'm making my 2 point. And then it's just a question of whether I bring one in or not, or just slot all the points. I had 13 pips. This is interesting. This seems wrong. Leave shots with 6-1 next roll. So it seems like I still want this spare here. This could be the right play here, just for having checkers on all the points and really not playing to have contact. This looks a little strange. So I'm gonna just play this way. Looks crazy, but it's good for the bear off.
Make my 2 point and play 6 to 4 to save a 6.
Race is close again. So now I'm thinking maybe I want the contact if she gets squeezed. So it's like funny. I'm going to remake my board and keep my spare here.
I really want double fives here. Not quite. Now do I save a 6 or do I come in? I think I'm just gonna save a 6. One more.
And I don't want to break my board now. This looks, it looks like she's going to get squeezed first or break her board more. So I think I'm going to keep my board strength here and just play in.
Still not rolling my double fives that I want. Just gonna clean up my board a bit. So come in.
Okay, we're ready. So 5, she's got to break her board, and 6, she's got to run. So I don't really want to do anything but just prepare for the contact.
And I'll keep my board and not leave a shot.
Now we have a little standoff.
But I cannot double here, unfortunately. I don't think, right? I have to, because I'm on the mid. I've been here before. Got the hit. And now I can double. I'm ahead in the race, even though my 5 point is open.
I can't really take this cube unless I'm ahead in the race. So I'm just going to pass.
And our favorite opening roll, 3-1.
Can I hit? Can I make a new point? Can't do any of that, so I can escape. So that's the play for this one.
I'm just going to bring one down and split.
And we're going to have equalized our positions.
I'm going to anchor.
Okay, well, I don't really want to get hit again with one back. I want to get this guy out of here. And I don't really want to play behind this anchor. And I want to unstack this point. So I'm just going to stack. It seems it's not my favorite, but hopefully we get something better to work
with. Double 4s. So XG loves making 2 points with doubles. So we have a couple options. We can do 8-4, 6-2. That doesn't look too shabby. It's a pretty good board. It leaves one shot. Or I could do 13-9, 6-2. I do not like the looks of that. I don't like the gaps on the 3 and the 4. So I think I'm gonna leave that one shot. I'm not scared because I have my anchor of him hitting necessarily. So I think this is my play.
And I don't want to stay there. The gammon chance is real if I stay back there and get hit. So I just want to get out.
Please, rigged dice.
Sorry, aces. So let's see. I can't play on the other side of the board, so it's got to be here. I guess I'll just play in.
Double ones is fun. It's going to shift here.
Bring 2 down, or I can slot the 3. I kind of like slotting the 3 because I want to make my points in order.
And I just want to avoid getting hit, get some spares inside.
I'm going to make use of that builder.
So this is pretty bad. I'm going to have to make my 1 point because I don't want to leave a shot.
I can play down. I kind of want to leave my guy in the mid one more roll, I think. I don't know. I don't know if that's right or if I just come down with 2. I think I'll just come down with 2. I don't know. I'll have to do it next time anyway, unless I roll doubles.
Just play safe. Try to get these guys around.
Doubles, but they're not big enough. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'm just gonna play him for the race.
All right, it's good. I got to keep stacking here. Can't leave a shot and be deadly. I really want to check her on my 6 point now, but I can't seem to get one there. So
Keep rolling double threes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay.
all right, I'm going to start a new point and finally get a checker on the 6 here. So that if she runs, I have a nice combination of checkers that can point on her.
And I have 2 choices here. I can run all the way with 1, or I can come out with 2. And I think I want to safety one of them. He still has a blot on his board, and hope I can survive this.
Yeah, so I don't have a double here with my blot in my board and being almost 20 pips behind the race. I really just have to hope I can hit and cover this one way or the other to try to win this game. With these checkers out here on the midpoint, my getting gammon would be pretty bad at this score. So I just want to roll small here. Well, if I cover and hit here, I have a chance to win this game. But if I cover and hit here, I have a chance to get gammoned in this game. So this is actually a pretty tough play. Normally, I just play to win and don't think twice about it. Take my lumps and see what XG punishes me for later. It's not a ton of shots if I make this play. It's the 4s and 3-1, so it's 13 numbers. And I have a great cube if she dances. So it seems like the way to win this game. If I let her just run out, I lose the race. I got to play to win. So I got to hit.
I also need to hit. That wasn't it, but I'm definitely covering my 1 so that it makes him nervous about hitting me back or again.
So I need to improve my position still and either put her on the roof. But this, I mean, I'm in a better spot now if I'm able to cover and even hit loose or point on her. So, but I still don't believe I have a cube just yet, because when I don't hit, I can lose a lot of games, and even when I do hit, I can lose a lot of games. So I'm still going to roll. And there's my chance here. Seems to be the clear play. I gotta fight to win this game.
All right, moment of truth.
I don't always cover. I don't get a lot of gammons here because she's only got 1 back and this guy's almost home. So I'm just going to double this one.
And I'm just going to drop. You don't always cover, but then I have to hit. So I'm going to pass. All right. 1-1.
So two away. This is a pretty standard spot for the first person that has access to the cube to double. So I'm just going to double right now.
And I shall take. All right, so I'm just going to come down with another one and step up to try and make a better anchor.
And I've already escaped one checker, so I don't really want to slot in front of these split checkers. So I'm just going to come down and step up, even though I really hate being on this 23 point.
This is a nice roll. I can make 2 good points. You know, I'm always tempted to make the anchor, but he has 9 in the zone. I think if he had 10, I might look more towards anchoring, but this is too good to pass up.
All right, I got a 5-6, and this guy is kind of in a bad spot. I can play a kind of a cool play where I dupe the ones and try to go home. It seems like the right idea. If I do something like this, it's a ton of shots. And if I just play to the deuce, this guy hasn't made any improvement on the board, and he's still kind of stuck back here. So it seems like the natural play is to kind of play this kind of wild, deep, let's get out of jail play. So I'm going to go for this.
That looks like fun. I'm gonna hit 2, and then I have 2 more. So with 2 on the roof, you know, I don't need to worry about the 7. I think I don't even know if I need to anchor, but I think I will in case he comes in. I still have quite a few numbers to get out. I don't see anything else I can do on my side of the board with the aces for flexibility. Now I'll bring 1 to the 10 because I'd love to make the 4 point next. And I don't want him to anchor, so I'm gonna hit with those 2. And then I think I'll come around. Is this too crazy? I don't know. You know, I just want to bring more into the zone because my goal is to close them out, and I really want to make the 4. So I'm going to do this. Now he's coming with the ace and I can't hit him. So I'm going to make the 7 point. And kind of, do I want to do that? Or this gives me good 4s and 1s. I think I'll do that. Oof. That's what I wanted. So I think I got to make that.
That's what I wanted.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe I should have hit.
So I win about 15% now. I can hit lose, or I can unstack this big stack of checkers. It's very hard to get her to crack here. I'm pretty much going to be stuck with this ace point game. It seems kind of silly to actually hit here. We leave a shot either way. This will be interesting to see what the computer does with this one. It's like it can't be a big mistake, I don't think, either way. I mean, even if I get lucky and she rolls like a 2-6, and I might make the 4 point next. After I have to like think of these like magic scenarios that happen where I can contain this checker. So I don't think it really matters that much what I do here. Can come down and dream she rolls double fours. I mean, it's really a tough choice that I don't think matters that much. So I don't know. It's more fun to hit. So I'm going to.
It's always more fun to hit. And I just want to keep this guy, get him out. There's no reason to stay back.
And I'm going to play as pure as possible here. If I get lucky and can build this prime, I don't really want the gap. Try to fill the gap here. So I'm just gonna point on her.
And then I only have 5 here, so that's my move.
And this is the scenario where you can get out of this mess. I've now made the best 3 points in my board, and if she doesn't get out, I could make the 7, and then she can crack, and this is the magic sequence that you're hoping for, but I still need a little bit more of that magic.
Eek! This is some of the magic. 2, 3. Oh, nuts. I can't do it. 1. And I'm cracking already. 2. Yeah, try as I might, I'm not going to be able to. 2, 3, 4. That's a real bummer.
And this is why you never give up. Right here. Oh no.
And this is why you never give up.
And this is why you put her back in jail. Right?
3. And not sure how much it matters, but I'm gonna play my ace there. 6, 2, 6, 1. Oh no.
Not 3.
Ouch. Ouch.
How did this happen?
Maybe I never should have let you anchor on the ace.
We're going to find out. Well, I mean, it's very hard to lose this game for you. It's very hard. And you can still win if you anchor. Oh. This is interesting. Am I supposed to hit you now? Keep you from anchoring. Because if you anchor here, you're going to have a pretty good chance to win. So it seems like I'm going to try to stop that. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
And I will try and make a better board and hope for a 6.
Uh-oh.
And I need another. Oh, I'm going to hit and come in and hope for a 6. Oh, no, not him. Me.
This is very, very exciting.
I need double 6s now.
This game had it all. Now I'm going to try to block double 6s here. Let's get them all out there.
Mm.
All right. Let's see. You roll double 6s. I can get hit, come back in here. So I kind of like putting this checker here. Come in deeper, have a chance anyway. Seems wrong to slot the front. I could block 6-5. That's kind of nice. Blocking 6-5 is pretty nice. So controlling the outfield and making it so like every 6 leaves a double shot is kind of what I'm thinking is the best strategy here. And then if she rolls the super joker double 6s, she hits me and I get a guy to hopefully come in on her 4-point and have a chance the next roll. So it looks like I'm going to probably do something like this where I block that spot. That double 6 is blocked. Wow, this is interesting. I don't know if I'm supposed to play behind with this 2, but I don't want to slot the 9. But I really like blocking this 11. So I'm going to do this. And there's my checker deep that I wanted in case she hit me. And I got good coverage here.
This game is just playing itself for me.
We'll set it up again. All right, I can't make that. Same kind of idea here. Anything bigger than 6-3, she leaves a double shot with 6-3, 6-4, 6-5, and double 6s I can come in deep again. So I think I like this idea. There's my double shot with 6-5. And is it better to hit these both? Her board is so weak now. It's probably better to hit both and not let her anchor on the 3. That's like a dream scenario. They dance, you cover it, good to go. And I'm just going to prepare to close this ace point up. Putting these checkers in range. And I don't need the 7-point, so it's better to diversify here. So I have these 4 combinations to make this point. And no anchors. And we'll use the one that's closest to cover, most likely. See, we want to watch out for double 6s. So in this scenario, it looks like it's going to be better to close with the 7 and come down. So if we roll double 6s, we have a nice, perfect situation where we don't have any odd checkers on the high points. And this is like the perfect bear-off structure for safety. I'm going to play as safe as possible here. I don't need to gammon her. Just want to clear points with those 2 up. Just want her to come in. Safe as possible. Well, hopefully we had a few pretty big errors that we could talk about.
I'm wondering how I lost this match, this game.
I'm not wondering. I set it up.
And I'm going to get off the gammon that we don't care about.
Yay!
Ah! When you're dancing, you can play well.
Very good, very good. All right, so I'm going to save this match and then open it next G. We'll go over it. We're a little over halfway on that. So 3 games, it's pretty good. All right, so look, we almost tied on the PR. Kara outplayed me 1.32 to 1.33.
Whoop, whoop.
Barnacles.
That never happens.
All right, so I'm going to set this up so we can go through each of these errors. We'll actually go through. We'll go through each one, each play, just to see if there were which ones were subtle. So you had the right idea with the 6-2. Making the blocking point was better and slotting the 7. I have a garbage board. You had the right idea at first. You actually talked yourself out of making this play, which making this 11 is right.
Always wants you to cover the blot and make a new point.
That's right. And pretty much always in backgammon, you want to be thinking, can I hit? Can I make a new point? And if I can't do those things, can I escape or can I make a connected play? Those should like always be at the front of your head. It leads you to make a closer decision. You'll blunder less with those thoughts just roaming around all the time. It's 5-1 here. I just wanted you to slot the points, prepare to build your board. What did you do here? 13-8-6-5, and it wants you to make your board and slot instead. Which is, I mean, it's not. You still had the right idea. You're building your board. XG dings you a little bit there, but it wasn't that big of a deal yet because you're not getting a shot anytime soon yet in this game.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, this is like a nothing burger. I mean, maybe even on plus, your play is actually the top play. I think that's you made the right idea. I think your play is probably right.
Yeah. Why does it want you to play so deep? I hate playing to the 2.
It's kind of silly that it sees that, but that's because it's on that initial analysis. We'll just because we have the time, we'll plus this real quick. But you really should just make the 5 point here. Like, it's kind of silly not to. It likes actually 13-11, 8-2 had popped up, but look, 13-5 popped up in number 1 so far. It's almost done, so I think you're going to win on this one too. Yeah, look at that. It's pretty good. It's the right idea. You're making your points in order. I mean, it's look at that. Your play is the DMP play.
Almost a pick 'em. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, we're splitting hairs here. But you should just make a 5 point as a default. You try to get too cute with those plays, you'll end up making bigger mistakes. And this is slot your 4, slot your 2. You could have kept the midpoint a little bit longer, but it's pick 'em. But I like your play. You're not getting a shot here anytime soon. So you made the right idea leaving here now. A lot of times when your opponent has a big stack of checkers on the midpoint, you'll hold this point here. It's better to leave the midpoint now and put the checkers, have the combos to make the points in order and fill the gaps as soon as possible when you're racing. Pretty clean here. You made the 4 point. That's all that matters there. It's like not worth looking at. And this one, it likes a little bit better playing to the 7 for the diversity. But that's small. You still kept the checkers outside, which is the right idea. This is interesting. I was looking at these plays. So I don't know if you guys remember when I had the 2-1 here before, and I just made both points preparing for the contact. XG actually likes keeping all these points slotted like this and playing 6-3. And you can see if we look back at this 4-2 play where I played 6-2 and 5-3. It might have looked crazy at the time when I did that, But remember, I talked about I'm looking at the race, preparing for the bear off, slot all the points. It kind of looks crazy. This is the right idea. And then XG likes it so much it still wants it all the points slotted and just play 6-3. Where I cleaned it up and it dinged me a little bit because now I have this gap and that's going to be worse for the bear off. And wants him to Kara to save the 6, and she did. She just did it a little different. It's not a big deal. It's the right idea. And it looks like we played pretty clean here. Let's go on to game 2. This look like some pretty good, easy plays. Here we go. The making 2 points play. Like Kara said, whenever you roll doubles, a lot of times you should make 2 points. Even if you leave a blot somewhere, if your opponent's board isn't like crazy good, XG, if you only make 1 point and you clean up a blot, XG normally like wants to smack you in the face for that. You should just be making 2 points and try to find the nuances when it's wrong, because it's kind of like rolling 3-1 and making your 5 point, or any roll that makes a 5 point, it's normally right to do that. It's the same kind of rule with doubles. If you can make 2 points, you should make 2 points. One of the exceptions of that is if you can point on their head in your board, like on your 5 point, if you roll double 4s and they're split with a 4, it's right to make the 5 point on their head. It's one of the exceptions to that rule, but it's a good rule to kind of keep in mind. And XG just wanted her to make the 4 point and come down and try to build the structure and build the points in order. Didn't really want to see her make the 2 point here, even though it did look scary. And the cool thing about your play here, Kara, is you win more gammons when it works. So I thought it was a very reasonable play based on the score, being that you're up 1-0 and you're kind of at a gammon go situation. I actually liked your play better than doing this, just because of the gammon increase. But you can see how close it is. That's why I want to plus this real quick to see if it switches. And making the 2
mine
points
got worse.
still bad. Yeah, which is good for me because I might win the PR now.
I know that.
And it's looking pretty good. This is an interesting play here. You slotted the 3, just it wanted the 2 down for more combos. That way you could make the 3 or you could make the bar. It's hard for you to cover that, so it dings you a little bit, but you have the right idea. So you wanted to make that point next, you slotted that point next. It's rarely going to be wrong by much if you have that kind of philosophy. 10-4 just wants you to bring it in one more time. It's a pick 'em. And this could change on plus, because when your opponent has this many checkers on the midpoint, they're never leaving a shot from here. So that's why this is really, it doesn't really matter which play you make. It's going to be close because you're never getting a shot here from here. You're going to have to leave it next roll. And look at that, Kara. You picked up some PR now. It became the best play. It's going to be a nail biter. And 6-2 for me here wanted me to slot the next point I want to make in my board and not stack. So this is a little bit of a mistake here by me. It makes sense. I need to slot these points next. They're the next points I want to make. This playing to the 5 again really didn't do anything for me. And it looks pretty clean. Now we're on our final game. And as you can see, doubling here, right on the line. It's pretty standard in these positions to just first one that has access to the cube at the two away score to just double. You're never going to make a mistake. I guess if you were playing an opponent that you thought you were much better than, maybe you might wait, but I don't take that into consideration too much at this score. I just give the cube and let's play, and I figure let what happens happen. Here's a small thing. Let's look at this here. This 5-2, XG wants you to come out and come down, just like kind of like the 6-2 play, which is that's interesting. Let's see what happens with plus plus. So Kara was 6-2, the standard opening. It's like it likes that same kind of idea here.
Yeah, I like that. You kind of keep connected and everything. I also would have considered 23 to 16 because really, I mean, we're at DMP now, right? So it's
This
running
is a cool
can't
play.
be that wrong.
Yeah, but on the other hand, you stayed connected, which is the right idea here. In either case, this is better for having a contact position, and it's if you get hit, you can anchor, you unstack the mid. Now you have more combinations to make the 5 and the 7 by coming down. Where this,
and you're not stacking the 8 point, which is ugly.
I mean, this is limited point making right here.
Yeah,
and this is a huge improvement. You double the number of ways you can make new points. That's a cool play. I didn't see that when we were playing. So here, this was an interesting 6-5 that I had. I really felt like I had no choice, that I had to step out and come down to the 2 point and just duplicate and, close my eyes and see what happens. And you can see that even 13-2 wasn't terrible, but you just don't really, if you can duplicate numbers and get out, you just don't want to stay back on the 23 point, even if you can avoid it. And then Kara rolls aces, which looked like her best number. And I thought there was no way she could lose this game, but she proved me wrong. And we'll get into what happens here with the sixes here. So you got to make the 2 point right. And it's an absolute pick 'em. I liked your play the best, actually, because you gave yourself the 4 different ways to make 4 combos to make the 4 point. You gave yourself good 6s, good 5s. I mean, it was almost like the only bad roll here was like double 4s. So I actually liked your play better. The computer puts this on top and escapes the checkers out to the 15, but like, I guess this is only better if I roll double 4s, but double 4s is a pretty big joker. But I would have done the same thing Kara did. I would have put the 4 combos to hit the 4 point. I come in, she can't hit me. The 6-1, you wondered if you were supposed to hit me. You made the right play.
It wasn't that wrong to hit, though.
It wasn't that wrong to hit, though. That's true.
I mean, but the whole point was I had set it up so that I could make the 4 point, and then I'm going to reject it. I can't do that.
Exactly. Which you set it up to make that point. You made the point. If I get lucky, I get lucky. You're not supposed to lose this game, right? After this happens, and then I got lucky. I anchored, and this was an interesting decision for me. And I talked about it. I was thinking about, do I just come down to the 9 or do I hit? It probably doesn't matter. I talked about it being close because it's pretty hard to win this game no matter what. What's the dream scenario that I'm looking for? And then on plus plus, it flips. It likes hitting over volunteering just a little bit better. And that's what I ended up doing because I thought, maybe there's some kind of magic scenario where she rolls 2-6 or doesn't hit me and I can reprime, and she rolls double 5s or double 4s, something that crunches. And somehow she found a way to make that happen. So this was an interesting 3-1. I could have hit and just made the 4 point, but I'm in such a terrible position. I thought it would be better to just play pure. And if I get hit, I have my ace point game. I am going to plus this just to see if it gets worse or better. But it does, making the 5 points still really a nice play. And I looked at it by hitting and making the 4, but you can see that's not even an option really. It's pretty bad. It's a pretty bad idea. Just gotta hope that they don't hit you and you can get them stuck in here somehow. And she rolled 1-5 and accommodated. I made the good point. She crunches with 4-4. Yeah, the only difference was you can see here, it's XG likes this a little better, where you just leave it on the 8 point instead of the 9 point, which is really kind of interesting. But like I said, it doesn't really matter. We'll plus it just to see if it changes, but you had the right idea. Yeah, it's very close. And then I got lucky. I rolled double 3s. Looks like she's going to be stuck. She gets out. I get lucky again, hit her, put her back home. And then the next one that was kind of tough was the 6-5 for me. And it wants me to just stay back with hit and run with 1 and maybe pick up another checker, which I didn't really think about it. I thought, oh, if I could just close out 2, that's enough. But if she anchors, I really want access to that third block, a third checker back if I can, just to increase the win chances. So I kind of regretted making this play afterwards, just because of the fact if she anchors, I have no chance to pick up any more checkers. She normally just crunches, and then there's I'm just worried about doubles, that she rolls double 6s once I start clearing. She rolls double 3s, and this is an interesting play. A lot of people don't like to hit here. They because of what happens, they see ghosts and they think, oh, my opponent's going to roll double 3s, and then I'm going to dance, and then they're going to get out, and then I'm going to lose. You just can't play scared like that. And you can see that even though I had the 6 prime, I hit to try to keep her from anchoring here, because then I just win a ton of games if she doesn't get this anchor. She rolls double 3s, I dance. It's the nightmare scenario right back. But then she crunches. And then I'm basically trying to cover the outfield. So these are kind of interesting plays here when you're playing. Now I'm playing this total containment game. I'm trying to think of the combos that my opponent might roll where I have the best chances to hit them, either with double or triple shots, and also blocking the jokers. Or if I can't block a joker like 6-6, at least put a checker there so that if I get hit, I come in behind and I still have a small chance of winning the game. If you play all the checkers in front of the 6-6 and they roll it, then you're pretty much just going to lose. You don't have any chance. So these were kind of fun plays to look at. It liked taking a checker to the 5 point and to the 15. That's pretty cool. So if she runs, I have the 4 combinations. About half the numbers will point on her if she comes out, and some of the numbers that don't point on her, I can hit her here with double shots. And the same kind of idea here, has a checker on the 15 to get hit in case she rolls boxes. Yeah, it just doesn't like me putting this checker behind unless I make it. This is really interesting. I didn't actually even consider this play making the 2 point, but that's kind of a cool play. And she popped out. I popped her back. And this is a cool play here. Let's look at this, this 2-1. So once again, I don't want her to anchor on the 3 point. So I'm hitting with the 2, and I'm also hitting with the 1. Some people think this looks kind of crazy to do, but like, she doesn't have a board. You don't want her to anchor. And when this play works and you close it up, you just win a ton more games. These are bringing it in. This is close. This doesn't really matter. You're just trying to close the board down. Bring these guys around. Watch out for big doubles. Don't leave a shot with double sixes. And you can see me setting this up. And so here was the 6-4 play that I was thinking of covering with the 4, and then coming down with the 6, but then double sixes left the shot. So then I looked at it covering with the 6 and coming down with the 4, and it played perfectly. So it's just something to keep in mind when you're doing this, so you don't lose a game with a freak accident. And it went pretty clean from here. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers the analysis. If Karen, you want to open it up for any questions for people, they could ask Kara or me anything they want.
Well, congratulations to both of you on playing almost flawless backgammon. I guess if there's a take home, it's never give up. So it was very exciting to see some of these swings at the end. So yes, anybody have a comment or a question? I know we've got Art and Kit Woolsey with us this evening. Any takeaway that struck you?
I loved hearing the commentary of what you were thinking along the way. It was so helpful. But someone just DM'd me, Kara, how do you account for your quick trajectory to such a great player? What is your routine? Are you taking lessons? How did you go in 2018 from novice to where you are now, 3 years later?
Yeah, so Jonah has a lot to do with my success. I've been taking lessons from him for 2 years now. Is it, Jonah?
It's 2.5 years now.
2.5 years, yeah. So I take 2 lessons a week from him, and then I'm on kind of a regime of I read at least 15 minutes of backgammon every day and practice. Not practice because I don't play that much, but I study like a match, or I'll play a match and then review it like 2 to 3 hours a day.
Very helpful.
That's it.
Other questions, comments? I have a question. Could you go over that two away, throwing the cube at the very beginning? And maybe a couple of our other elite players could jump in as well. And for those of us who are not elite, explain that a bit, please.
Okay, so basically when you're two away, and you're on roll, you're like the favorite. I mean, it's like, that's one way of looking at it in a very simplistic way. If your opponent didn't like roll some great number, but the real key is you're never going to pass. So you might as well double. You're going to play this game out no matter what. Unless there's some kind of crazy tragedy that you guys both rolled so many times till someone rolled a joker and you had to pass. But there's almost no sequences in the opening couple of rolls that you would pass, so you might as well cube and just get it over with. It's like ripping the Band-Aid off. Kit, you're muted if you want to say something about that.
Kit, your microphone's not on, honey. You have to turn it on, bottom left of your screen.
He's still muted. Well, anyway, I like to have I have a very keep it simple approach to a lot of these things that I teach. And you'll hear Kara when she's talking about.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, there you go. Go ahead, Kit.
Okay, the idea is this. The one thing you don't want to have happen in two away is lose your market, because you hate it. You double and the opponent passed when they should have, when you could have doubled earlier and they would have to play it out. That's clearly a bad thing if you lose your market. Okay, now, let's say we're playing two-way. I'm playing Jonah two-way. And I tell Jonah, this is going to be my strategy. Anytime it is conceivable, any sequence, I roll, you roll, where I would lose my market. Even if it's a 1 in 1296 scenario, I am going to double. That's my strategy and I'm sticking with it. Well, if you take any other strategy than the same thing, you're getting the worst of it, because I will never lose my market and you might.
Yeah, that's a great a deeper way to look at it. I just like to keep it really simple, and I know that at this score I'm never passing, so I might as well double. And I'm the same idea is also I'm on roll. Something really good could happen. So I have this kind of very simple approach to it. And it's also like when you heard Kara talking during our match, a lot of the things that we're talking about while we're thinking about what we're doing, it's very kind of a simplistic way of thinking about the game. I'm always thinking about and teaching people to just follow these rules. Can I hit? Can I make a new point? Can I make a connected play? And then also keeping in mind all the time that XG just loves structure. If you see a blot, cover a blot. If you hit a blot, basically like you should be making points constantly. And if you have blots that are just kind of lying around, it really likes those to be covered. And if you kind of have that at the front, then that kind of guides you in playing pretty well without a lot of math.
Other questions, comments?
Did we look at all at the situation where Kara had 17 shots to win? I didn't look at the position that carefully as to whether how much of a favorite was she? Was she?
That was in the first game.
Yeah, just have a look at that. I think the race makes a big difference if you're ahead or behind there as to whether it's worth, because if after missing you still win 50% of the time, then maybe it's worth sending the cue if you're going to hit 17.
Yeah, that was.
Well, keep one thing in mind: hitting. She did not have a closed board, so hitting was not a lock win for her.
That's true. So you don't necessarily win all 17 of those hitting.
Not even going to come close to winning him. If she hits and Jonah enters immediately, it's anybody's ball game. And she would love to have cube access at that point.
I'll actually show you the position.
And plus, she was behind in the race.
So she's behind 2 pips after the roll, and this is what it is.
Yeah, so she's barely a favorite.
Yeah, it's almost a 50-50.
And she's farther behind than the pip count indicates because of the wasted checkers.
All those dead checkers on the ace point, yeah.
And she's got full
which,
crossovers.
by the way, illustrates, while it is important to save sixes in these types of positions, don't go out of your way to do it. Smoothness matters. Every checker you shove to the ace point could be a roll in the race. So, don't play that impurely.
Right. And you guys saw what happened, where I had to play really crazy, and I kind of set up the scenario all the way back here with that 4-1. Where is that sucker? Oh yeah, starting with this like 3-1, started with the 4-1 and then with the 3-1. You see that, like I talked about, how do I win this game? It's going to be a miracle, but this is how you do it.
Well, the miracle is how you win it frontwards. You can always win it backwards.
Right. But I'm talking about trying to win the front game. This is the scenario, and the ace point game is my backup, which I'm anticipating being the rest of the game.
Yeah, but since you always have that in reserve, you might as well go for the gusto.
Exactly. Anyone else have questions about studying practice, or what they should work on, or any questions about anything about the game, actually?
Jonah, Kara once said to me, "You've got a lot of fun little slogans about the game," and we've learned through Michi's books that proverbs and slogans can be helpful. Do you want to share a couple of them?
Well,
Oh,
like,
can I share one of my favorites?
oh, yeah, go ahead.
Don't let them anchor you, wanker. That's my favorite.
I remember that one.
What did you say? What did you say?
I said, don't let them anchor you, wanker. Sorry if it's foul language, but
you could type it in like so it just basically means that I have this rule that like you want to keep on the front of your mind to keep your opponent from anchoring. Sometimes you have to be careful to not get hit if their board's really strong, or but it's just so often that we lose games when we let our opponent anchor that I want especially people that are kind of in an intermediate level in the game to err on the side of caution and hit to avoid their opponent anchoring as a general practice. Everybody seems to have a little better idea when they have that in the front of their mind. Another one that I use is keeping track of where your spares are. Like talking about, like, it's not really a slogan, but it's an idea that you keep the best places to have your spares are on the 6, 8, and 13 point. It's just as I was bearing in, I kept wanting to get a checker to my 6 point. I'm always kind of thinking about that also, that I want the checkers in the beginning of the game diverse, and even later in the game, it's amazing how often like the spare checker on the 6 is so valuable, and in the early game that the checker on the 8 is the spare on the 8 is so valuable. And another one, Carr actually said it in our match, was when you have an advanced anchor on the 18 point, especially, the midpoint loses value. A lot of times we need to use the midpoint to build, to slot, or break that point earlier than a lot of times when we might think about, because we already have the 18 point. That should be, those are like the building zone checkers, is what they become. Try to play in front, try to make your points in order. But you disregard this when blitzing. This is another rule that, like, when you're blitzing, XG doesn't care what points you make in order or not. XG just wants you to make points. You'll see that, like, if you can make the ace point, you're blitzing, it's okay with that. You don't have to make them in order. Don't worry about that. Just keep making points. Another, it's not a quick saying, but be careful taking cubes without an anchor. That's a pretty big one. What's another good one? Cara, do you have any other favorites?
I like Mambo number 3.
Okay.
You want to talk about that one or no?
Yeah. That's a kind of a good one. So I don't know if everybody knows this song, Mambo number 5. It's kind of a funny song. A little bit of Monica in my life, a little bit of Jessica, all that song. Well, when you're behind in a match, I call it Mambo number 3. You're behind in the match, and you have a little bit of race, you have a little bit of threat, and you have a little bit better position. At a normal score, you can't double in these, but when you're behind in the match, you just need a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and a little bit more. So if you have all 3 in the position and the race and the threats, just a very little bit, and you're behind in the match, you can double. So it's a very kind of fun way to remember that when you're behind, I don't need as much. But if I have all 3 things going for me, it's going to be right on, perfect double, or it's only going to be a small mistake, a little mistake. Just like you just need a little bit of each of these things to have enough to double. And the more you're behind, the less you need in the match to, if you have all 3 and you just have a very, very little bit, you can I call it giving them the monkey. and let them play with it. Another cool rule is that came up with my students. It was it's rarely correct. It's Tony's rule to cue when you have no points made in your board. But the Kara exception to this rule is when you're behind in the match, you can ignore Tony's rule. Uh-oh. Somebody's jamming in the back. So those are a few of the rules. There's like 78 of them. So
Any last comments? I think we are going to have to wrap it up at this point, but this was absolutely stellar. I still can't get over almost how flawlessly both of you played and some of the interesting moves. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for this
So much. Thank you.
commentary. And then all of you, thank you for being here, but also join us again on June 14th when we'll have Marty Storr and Antoinette Marie Williams with us. So exciting matches, learning sessions coming up over the rest of the summer. So be sure and join us. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank
everybody.
you. Thank you,
Get those
Karen.
registrations. Irina, you know who you are.
Thank you.
Irina, thanks for being willing to pitch in.
Well, I'm glad I didn't have to play. Look at her. She was unbelievable. Very good. Thank you, Jonah. I think Kara got disconnected, but thank Kara also. And thank you, all the organizers. This is great.
thank you. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night.